Today I want to talk to you about something very real for a lot of us, autistic masking and its true cost. Hi, I'm the Independent Autistic, and on this channel we empower adult autistics to independence. Now, masking is a rather complex thing, but here are a few of the costs that come with it. Sometimes masking means hiding your nerdy interests, the things you're really into, the stuff that lights you up, but you keep it inside because people don't understand or think it's weird. And hiding that part of yourself, it takes a toll on your stress levels and on your joy. Other times, masking is like acting everything is okay, even though the transition between work, classes, and other environments is driving you nuts. That stress builds up, that act takes energy, and masking like that, just smiling and going on, leads to brain drain and energy drain. It takes a lot of energy to keep the mask on. Masking our personality is challenging too. Sometimes you have to remember which mask you use the last time you were in that situation, or when you meet that person. It's a lot like lying. They say lying takes a good memory, and it's kind of true here. You're trying to be consistent with the version of you that isn't real, and that's exhausting. Then there's masking that comes from faking interest in stuff you don't really care about, just so the other person will think you're part of the group. That takes a toll too. You're trying to be consistent with the version of you that isn't real, and that's exhausting. Sometimes masking shows up as faking sickness to get out of class or work, when really you're just burned out. The stress is too much, and rather than explain you're autistic and on the verge of a meltdown, it's easier to say you have a headache or you're sick, because people understand that. But again, it's a mask. In more extreme cases, masking can come out as aggression. You hide your real self behind a wall of being tough, defensive, or angry. That's another kind of mask. There's a form of mask that I call living a lie. When you live a lie day after day, it ruins you. It eats away at you because the truth is always there underneath, struggling to breathe. And the cost of that truth is what you're paying every time you put on a mask. Sometimes masking is driven by a deep desire for acceptance, to the point you will sell your soul. You will sell that inner core part of you just to feel like you belong. That's a high cost to masking. Masking often takes the form of suffering in silence, just keeping it in. And that's not good for you. Over time, the silent suffering builds up and leads to depression and burnout. And again, a very high price to pay. Sometimes masking turns into jadedness or cynicism. The world feels fake, so you start acting fake, and eventually you don't know what's real anymore, and that takes its toll. And then there's people pleasing, always trying to do the right thing, say the right thing, be the right person for the right crowd, just to gain favor, just to be liked, and that twists you into knots. It's a high price to pay for masking. Sometimes masking leads to a sense of betrayal, not from others, but from yourself. You feel like you betrayed yourself. You gave in. You went along. You said yes to something that you don't believe in, just so no one will find out that you're autistic. That's another painful price. And maybe the worst of all, you feel like no one really sees you. You wear the mask and people react to the mask and never to the real you. And so you walk around feeling lonely on the inside because the real you is hidden and unseen. And that's a high price to pay for masking. So do you see it? Masking drains your energy, drains your emotional bank account, and sometimes leaves you physically empty just trying to interact. Masking costs too much. I know at times we have to do it. We do it to survive, but do it as little as possible, because doing it all the time will break you. Are you a young adult autistic stuck at home and craving more independence? Then the Autistic Bridge to Independence is just what you've been looking for. It's a guide to your independence. Check the link below and get it today. And remember, you were born different to make a difference. Please offer the customary sacrifices to the algorithm God. This is the Independent Autistic. Be safe, be seen, and most of all, be real.